As I was playing Halo 3 recently in the level Sierra 117, I got curious enough to see if I could find the approximate location of this area we fight in. I've known this mountain to be the depiction of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Without immediately looking up information online as to where around the base of Mount Kilimanjaro this level of Halo 3 takes place in, I first used the compass on the assault rifle that always points north. Using this compass may give me an understanding as to where around the massive base of Mount Kilimanjaro I was as depicted by Bungie. Referencing the assault rifle's compass from this cliff in the game, I see that I am looking at Mount Kilimanjaro from the west side. I am not looking at it from the south base. I feel it's right to mention, in Halo Combat Evolved, the Halo ring is always east to west. It's never north or south. This goes for all campaign levels and multiplayer maps in Halo Combat Evolved, and that's a cool little consistent detail. Check it out yourself. A few years ago, I was listening to some Halo developers. One had stressed that the ring has to be east to west when they were importing the skybox. Apparently, there was some mistake and they had to go back and correct it during the development of Halo Combat Evolved. Now, based off of the assault rifle's compass in Halo 3, I opened up Google Maps to see if the west side of Mount Kilimanjaro was in fact a jungle, and if there was some large bodies of water I could spot, like in this level. I know Halo takes place 500 years into the future, so there's always the possibilities of geographical changes, and it's a video game after all. Nothing like this is a 1-to-1 scale. It's not a perfect depiction of the current real world, but certainly Bungie was inspired enough to use a 500-year future Mount Kilimanjaro in their game, so there has to be some correlation, much like Snoqualmie Falls inspired Halo Combat Evolved for the level Halo. Sure enough, the west side of Mount Kilimanjaro from the satellite view on Google Maps looks very green. So far, the location of Sierra 117 in Halo 3 seems to be holding up, although I wasn't able to find some bodies of water from the glacier runoff around this area. Opening up another tab, I typed in Halo 3 Sierra 117 level, and on the Halo Alpha site, there seemed to be some good information to go off of that took me to the west side of Mount Kilimanjaro. Things seemed to be aligning. The Halo Alpha site states that this level takes place on the southern slopes of Shira Peak of Mount Kilimanjaro. When I took the little yellow Google man to find some 360 pictures, I could only find pictures that were taken further north than I really wanted, but look at this area. This is a jungle. Okay, so it's pretty clear to see the accuracy in the artwork of the foliage and trees. Now I know they say not to be chasing waterfalls, but I just can't help myself. I'm already on Google Maps. For the fun of it, I looked for waterfalls that may resemble that delicious waterfall we see in Halo 3, but really, I think it's inevitable. If you're creating a jungle with glacier runoff, you're gonna have a waterfall and some streams somewhere. Bungie loves their waterfalls, rivers, and streams. In any case, I wasn't able to find an exact location south of Shira Peak overlooking Mount Kilimanjaro near a lake, similar to what we see in Halo 3, but it's very clear to see how accurate the vegetation is. Then I started thinking further on in the campaign of Halo 3, when you go to the town of Voi, and here it is. Voi is a real place, and southeast of Voi is Mombasa. In Halo 3 ODST, there's a great overhead shot of New Mombasa, the final cutscene of the game. It's interesting seeing the similarities in the geography. That just goes to show that Bungie was doing their homework as they were creating both Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST. They're not the first video game developers to do this, and they certainly won't be the last, but it's neat to see some research being done mixed with the creative liberties of depicting real locations 500 years into the future and what that would look like getting attacked by aliens. Additionally, I was watching a video of someone who loves Halo 3 but was not sure what these ginormous metal rings are supposed to be. So I thought, in case some other people are unaware, let me go ahead and take the time to explain that these are the remnants of the collapsed space elevator in New Mombasa. In Halo 3, there is a line of dialogue explaining this, but if you don't stand in the right spot, the dialogue does not activate. Therefore, it's implied that you, as the chief, know what this is. We don't actually see the space elevator collapse until we play Halo 3 ODST that was released in 2009.
Look! The elevator! Incoming!
Just nearly 2 years after Halo 3 was released in 2007.
Subspace rupture! Must have weakened the support rings!
All units. Target assets are on the move. Everyone clear the area before more debris comes down.
Here it is in Halo 2, when the space elevator was fully erect and saw better days. As you heard in Halo 3 ODST, it was believed that the slip space rupture of Regret's carrier weakened the space elevator's support, causing it to collapse. Here's what it looks like in Halo 2 Anniversary. It's shifted over a little bit. In Halo 3, it was explained that the space elevator collapsed when the city was glassed. Here's that activated dialogue.
Mombasa Space Elevator.
It collapsed when the city got glassed.
But the tether was thousands of kilometers high.
Yeah? Well, now it's scattered all over the savannah.
Alright, I'm breaking out the assault rifle compass again. As you can see, we are looking westward. And I turn to my right, and now I'm looking northbound in the direction of Voi. But looking back out west, there's Mount Kilimanjaro out there in the distance. So when the New Mombasa Space Elevator collapsed, many of the support rings fell westward and landed around the outskirts of Voi, and further out, of course, in the direction of Mount Kilimanjaro. I think it's kind of interesting. And if you go further south of Mombasa, you come upon Zanzibar, one of my favorite Halo maps of all time. I know this video was different, but I wanted to take the time and make it because I think it's kind of interesting. You can go ahead and check out my other videos I've made.